A snake bit me 11 minutes into the rescue. Venom burning up my calf like a fuse, radio in my ear hissing. I had to choose, save myself, or save my trapped comrades. I'm Sergeant Lena Kovacs, a soldier's wife and a medic by trade, and tonight our 4-person team schemes the edge of a jungle valley to pull 2 men out before dawn. 1 vial of antivenom rides in my pack, meant for whoever we find inside that stilted shack by the river. Now it feels like it's meant for me. The brief said light guard, no heavy weapons, quick in and out. We ghosted from ridge to ridge, wet leaves slick as glass, the air thick with the sugar rot smell of overripe fruit. I told them to watch their footing, I missed my own. The viper was the color of dead leaves and patience. The strike was a whip crack, 2 needles through my sock. The world narrowed to heat and heartbeat. Ellis swore. Ortega's rifle swung wide. Jean said, quietly, "Doc?" Training rose through the pain. Pressure bandage. Immobilize. Breathe slow. Don't cut, don't suck, don't tourniquet. I did all of that with hands that wanted to tremble and a mouth that tasted like pennies. The swelling started anyway, ankle to shin, a living bruise. My timer started. Venom was not a movie villain, it was a clock. I could jab the antivenom now and buy myself time. But if Reyes or Hunt, the 2 we hoped to find, were already bitten or bleeding out, using it on me would cost them their shot. Command had delayed the official extraction. We were the unofficial one. Our margin was thinner than the mist on the ravine below us. I looked at the shack's pinprick light far downslope and said into the net, "We continue. Adjust pace." "I'm walking." "Are you sure?" Jean asked. "Not even a little." I stood. The jungle leaned closer, listening. We moved again, the night pressing its damp chest to ours. Somewhere out there, 2 men waited for the sound of us, or for the sound of nothing at all. Venom coiled in my veins and the choice coiled with it, me or them. The story doesn't stall at a crossroads. You pick a road and run. Before we stepped off, Aaron kissed my forehead in the dim of the staging tent. He is my husband and a lieutenant in another company, grounded tonight by a busted rotor and red tape. "You come back to me," he said, like a prayer and an order. I laughed to keep from crying. "Bring them back," I told him, "and I'll bring me." We bumped helmets and pretended superstition wasn't real. Now that bargain rattled in my pack with the antivenom. Sweat crawled under my plate carrier. The jungle hummed, a choir of insects in distant water over stone. I counted my steps, measured my breath, and shoved fear into a pocket I could unzip later. Pain taught its lesson 1 letter at a time, F-I-R-E. "Doc, call it," Ortega murmured, a shadow at my shoulder. He never said my first name on missions. Names are anchors, anchors sink you. "Call it forward," I said. We didn't come all this way to turn around because a reptile has opinions. Ellis snorted softly. The kid was 2 months out of school, fast on a keyboard, careful with a trigger. He adjusted my pack without asking and took point. I let him. Pride is heavy, so is blood. I could only afford one tonight. Somewhere, a bird made a metallic ping that sounded like a cooling engine. Somewhere, Aaron would be pacing a too-bright tent, checking his watch, not cussing because he promised me he wouldn't when worry got loud. I pictured his jaw, the scar he got the day we met, the way his voice drops when he says my name. I pictured the antivenom and didn't touch it. Every step down the slope was a bargain between balance and pain. The bandage slowed the spread, but not the fire. My boot felt half a size smaller already, laces biting swollen flesh. Each vine across the path looked like another snake, each rustle another strike waiting. We moved slow, too slow, and every soldier knows that slow bleeds time. Time we didn't have. Reyes and Hunt, our missing men, were ghosts on the net. Last ping was 6 hours ago, cut off mid-transmission. The shack by the river might be a cage, might be a grave. We didn't know. The jungle pressed close, humid and endless. Our NVGs painted the world in phosphor greens, every fern frond glowing, every trunk carved out of neon. My breath fogged the lens. I forced it steady. You can't let the team hear fear in your lungs. Ortega raised his hand. Fist, stop. We froze. The night had voices, monkeys, frogs, the endless drone of insects, but one sound didn't belong: boots on wet wood. A guard on the shack's deck. 2 o'clock, 40 meters, Ortega whispered. Ellis adjusted his rifle. Gene steadied him. We had rules: no shots unless necessary, no noise unless desperate. Noise drew attention. Attention drew reinforcements. We crouched low, watching. My calf throbbed, venom pumping like a second heart. Dizziness flirted at the edge of my vision, a curtain tugged by invisible hands. I chewed the inside of my cheek until copper taste anchored me. Ellis leaned close. Doc, you need to. Not now. My whisper was a blade. But he was right. Every minute the poison crawled higher. My fingers tingled when I gripped the rifle. The antivenom was still there, sealed, a promise and a curse. Use it now, maybe live long enough to finish. Save it, maybe give Reyes or Hunt a chance, if they even breathed. My mind replayed Aaron's voice: you come back to me. Easy words in a tent. Harder under leaves with death coiling in your veins. The guard lit a cigarette, a tiny flame against the dark. For an instant his face glowed, tired, bored, human. Ortega's finger twitched near his trigger. We didn't shoot. The ember died. Jean traced in the dirt with her finger. 3 inside? Ortega nodded. Ellis shook his head. The signals meant one thing: we had no agreement. No intel. No certainty. We needed eyes closer. I should have volunteered. My body said otherwise. Ellis touched my arm. Doc, I'll go. The jungle smelled of damp earth and rain that hadn't fallen yet. Somewhere far off, thunder rolled. My pulse beat faster than the storm. I should have ordered him back, kept him safe. But I let him slip into the dark, young shadow among older ghosts. My vision blurred. The venom was climbing, knee, thigh, higher. Cold sweat soaked my back. I clenched my jaw and told myself one lie at a time: you can last another 10 minutes. You can make the shack. You can keep them alive. Ellis disappeared into the green silence. We waited. My body swayed, Jin's hand steadying me before I toppled. Her whisper was almost nothing. Doc, we need you. Don't quit. Quit. The word was a cliff. I didn't step off. Then Ellis came back, eyes wide, breath fast. He didn't need to speak. His fingers carved the message in dirt: Reyes alive. Hunt hurt. 2 guards. Alive. Hurt. 2. The venom screamed now, the mission screamed later. My pack carried one cure, and my body carried one decision. We moved again, closer to the shack, closer to the truth, closer to the point where choice could no longer wait. The shack crouched on stilts above the riverbank, its planks warped, its roof sagging. A single bolt burned inside, sickly yellow, cutting holes in the dark. We lay flat in the undergrowth, mud soaking our uniforms, mosquitoes whispering against our skin. Ellis mouthed what he'd seen again: Reyes tied, Hunt barely conscious, 2 guards inside. The cigarette smoker was pacing outside, boots creaking on the deck. Ortega's hand signals stitched a plan into the night: he'd take the guard, Jean would breach, Ellis would cover, I'd follow. I shouldn't have been on point anymore, not with venom crawling up my leg like a shadow. But they didn't argue, because they knew, our medic doesn't stay behind. Not while comrades bleed. Pain flared like lightning when I shifted. My thigh was hot, swollen tight against the fabric. My breath came shallow, heart racing. I pressed a gloved hand against my leg, whispered in my head, not yet. Hold. 10 more minutes. The guard outside flicked his cigarette over the railing. Ortega slid through the grass, silent as smoke, and in one motion he rose, arm hooked, knife flashed, then silence again. The body slumped soundless into shadow. One problem down. The bigger ones waited inside. We reached the base of the stilts. Jean looked at me, her face a mask under night goggles. I gave a nod. She climbed first, rifle angled, boots soft. Ellis followed, hands steady despite his youth. Ortega went last, dragging the unconscious guard just out of sight. Then it was me. My leg trembled with every rung. The venom had found my bloodstream, lips tingling, vision doubling, sweat stinging my eyes. Every step up the ladder was war. But I made it, somehow, my chest heaving when I rolled onto the deck. Jean signaled, breach. The door creaked as she nudged it open. Inside, the smell hit us, sweat, rope, blood, iron. Reyes was bound to a chair, a bruise swelling across his jaw. Hunt lay on the floor, pale, clutching his side where bandages were already soaked through. Two guards sat near the table, rifles leaned close. We stormed in. Ellis fired first, quick and sharp, one man dropping before he could reach his weapon. The other spun, too slow, Jin's shot dropped him. The room stank of cordite. Reyes blinked in shock, Hunt groaned, alive but fading. "Doc!" Jean hissed. I dropped beside Hunt, my hands automatic. Tourniquet, pressure, airway check. The training was muscle memory, but my muscles trembled. My vision blurred again. The venom was climbing faster now, a drumbeat in my veins. Reyes whispered hoarsely, "You came." "Yeah, well, don't make me regret it," Ortega muttered as he cut the ropes. I reached into my pack. My hand closed around the antivenom vial. For me, or for him? Hunt's pulse was thready, fading. His breath rattled like loose stones. He needed everything I had, and I needed it too. Aaron's face flickered in my mind. His voice, "Come back to me." But Hunt was here. Hunt was dying. I set my jaw. Ellis, prep for. Jean, cover the door. Ortega, get Reyes up. We're not done yet. My hand trembled as I uncapped the vial. The choice was no longer tomorrow's problem. It was here. It was now. And whichever way I turned, someone wouldn't make it out. The vial felt heavier than the rifle in my hands. Clear liquid, life distilled, a cure in glass. My body screamed, "Use it now," every nerve firing like static, my heart racing in uneven beats. But Hunt lay pale on the shack floor, breath shallow, skin waxy. His eyes fluttered, half aware, half gone. One vial. One chance. Him or me. I looked at Ellis, his hands shaking as he held the 4 kit, waiting for my order. The kid's eyes begged me, "Save him." Jin's rifle covered the doorway, Ortega pressed Reyes against the wall to cut his ties. Outside, the jungle sang, oblivious. My vision blurred, 2 Hunts, 2 Elises. I blinked hard, sweat dripping, the world tilting. Poison climbed through me like ivy choking a tree. My throat felt thick, tongue heavy. Every second, my window closed. "Doc?" Ellis whispered. I thought of Aaron. His promise. His kiss. His order, "Come back to me." But I thought of something else too, the creed we drilled into bone, "No one left behind." My decision was a blade. I plunged it down. "Hunt first," I said. Ellis didn't hesitate. He snapped the vial, drew it into the syringe, slid the needle home into Hunt's vein. I steadied his hand though mine trembled. Clear serum against poisoned blood. Hope against despair. For a moment, silence. Hunt's chest shuddered, then steadied. His eyes fluttered open, cloudy but alive. Relief cut through the air like rain. That's when the boards creaked. Jean swung her rifle. Ortega cursed. Shadows moved outside, more guards, voices low but urgent, boots stomping. The 2 shots we fired earlier hadn't gone unnoticed after all. We had seconds. Maybe less. "Contact incoming," Jean hissed. I forced myself upright. My legs screamed. My chest felt like a fist squeezing from the inside. I had no cure left, no backup plan. My body was a ticking bomb. But Reyes needed carrying. Hunt couldn't walk. Ellis was too green to hold the line. Jean and Ortega couldn't do it alone. That left me. Poisoned, shaking, barely standing, me. I tightened my grip on the rifle. Ellis, get Hunt ready to move. Ortega, take Reyes. Jean, doors. They looked at me, hesitation flashing across their faces. Now. I barked, the medic gone, the soldier speaking. The first burst of gunfire ripped through the walls, splinters stinging my face. Outside, shadows closed in. My body begged me to fall, but the mission pulled me forward. If I went down here, at least it would be standing between my team and the dark. The jungle erupted with gunfire. Bullets tore through wood and air, the shack groaning under the impact. Ellis flinched, dragging Hunt toward the back window. Ortega hauled Reyes upright, teeth gritted, muscles straining. Jean fired short, controlled bursts, each muzzle flash a heartbeat in the dark. I pressed against the wall, rifle raised, vision tunneling. My hands felt numb, like I was wearing gloves inside my gloves. The venom had reached my chest, breathing shallow, heart pounding uneven, sweat cold. My body was deserting me, piece by piece. But there was no time for weakness. The door slammed open. A figure burst through, rifle raised. I fired before thought caught up, 3 rounds center mass. He fell hard, weapon clattering. My shoulder ached from the recoil, but the rush kept me moving. Go! I shouted. Back window, out! Ellis shoved Hunt through the frame, Ortega boosting Reyes after him. Jean dropped another guard outside with surgical precision. Then her rifle clicked empty. The pause was too long. Boots hammered the deck. I lunged, covering her with my fire, the world spinning. My shots weren't perfect. I hit a shoulder, a wall, then finally dropped the man with a burst that shredded his leg. Jean slammed a fresh mag home, nodded once, calm as stone. But my knees buckled. The room tilted sideways. Doc! Ellis's voice cracked behind me. I bit down on panic. Not yet. Not here. I staggered toward the window, half falling, half crawling. Ortega grabbed my harness and yanked me through just as another burst of gunfire shredded the wall where I'd been. We landed hard in mud, river mist cold against burning skin. The jungle outside was chaos, flashlights cutting beams through trees, shouts in another language, boots pounding closer. We had Reyes limping, Hunt barely conscious, me poisoned and failing. Survival was math, and the numbers weren't kind. Jean pointed upstream, where the river bent and vanished behind rocks. Extraction points north. We move now. Doc can't, Ellis started. Doc will, I snapped, voice raw, forcing my legs to move. Pain lanced up with every step, venom dragging me under, but I wouldn't let the team see me fold. Not yet. Branches whipped our faces, mud sucked at boots, the river roared beside us. Behind, the enemy chased, closer each second. My vision doubled again. 2 rivers. 2 Jeans. I shook my head, staggered, nearly dropped the rifle. Ortega caught me by the elbow, steadying without a word. His eyes said what he didn't, you're breaking. Maybe I was. But ahead, Reyes stumbled forward, alive because we came. Hunt clung to Ellis's shoulder, alive because of the antivenom. That had to be enough to keep me moving. Gunfire cracked through the trees, rounds whining past. Jean returned fire, Ortega too, their shouts lost in the jungle's roar. I forced myself to run, though every step felt like sinking deeper into quicksand. My lungs seized. My heart stuttered. My legs betrayed me, pitching me to my knees in the mud. For the first time, I wondered if Aaron's words had been a lie, not because he meant them, but because I couldn't keep them. Come back to me. The jungle spun. My hands slipped. The darkness pressed in. And still, I tried to rise. The jungle swallowed me whole. My knees hit the mud, rifle slipping from numb fingers. My chest locked tight, each breath shallow, ragged. The venom had climbed too far. My body was no longer mine, it belonged to the snake, to the jungle, to death creeping in. "Doc's down!" Ellis cried. His voice cracked, panicked, too young for this war. Boots splashed around me. Ortega dropped Reyes against a tree and crouched beside me, hands rough on my shoulders. "Stay with me, Kovacs. Stay awake." I tried. God, I tried. But my head lolled, vision split in threes. Aaron's face hovered in the haze, jaw tight, eyes fierce. "Come back to me," he said again. And again. And again. "We can't carry all of them," Jean snapped. Her rifle barked, muzzle flashing, holding back the chase. "We're seconds from being overrun. Then we carry her or we leave her." Ellis shouted, desperation raw. The words cut deeper than the fangs had. "Leave me." My choice to save Hunt now meant I might not be saved. The math was turning against me. Hunt, still weak, rasped from Ellis's shoulder, "Don't leave her." His voice cracked, but it carried weight. A soldier's plea. Reyes, bruised and staggering, added, "She chose us. We choose her." Ortega cursed under his breath, a word swallowed by gunfire. Then he hauled me onto his back like I weighed nothing. My head thumped against his shoulder, vision swinging with every step. "Ellis, cover rear. Jean, keep fire moving. We're ghosts till the river," he growled. And we moved. The jungle blurred, a smear of vines, roots, shadows pierced by flashlights. Shouts rose behind us, angry and close. Bullets hissed past, smacking bark, spraying dirt. Jean fired in bursts, never missing, her calm the only steady thing in a world collapsing. Ortega stumbled once under my weight but didn't stop. His breath thundered in my ear, his heart pounding like a war drum. I wanted to tell him to let me go, to save himself, but the words stayed locked behind swollen lips. We broke through brush onto the river's edge. The current boiled black and silver under moonlight, rocks breaking the surface like jagged teeth. No boats. No bridge. Just water and fate. "Cross?" Ellis gasped. "Cross," Jean said. "Now." Ortega waded in first, carrying me, the water rising cold to his chest. Reyes stumbled after with Ellis shoving Hunt across his shoulders, both of them half drowning. Jean brought up the rear, firing at shadows on the bank. The current tore at us, strong enough to drag a man under. Ortega's grip on me never faltered. His muscles burned, but he pushed forward, each step a defiance against the river, against the poison, against death. Behind us, flashlights hit the bank. Voices shouted. Gunfire cracked. Rounds splashed close, snapping the water. Jean dove, returning fire from the middle of the river, each shot echoing like thunder. I felt myself slipping, into water, into dark, into nothing. My body sagged heavier in Ortega's arms. My heart stuttered again, fluttering weak. But then I felt his grip tighten, his growl in my ear, "Not tonight, document. Not while I breathe." The river swallowed us, carried us, spat us out onto the far bank, alive, but not safe. And as Ortega laid me down in the mud, gasping, the last thing I heard before the black closed in was Jin's voice, hard but shaking. "She's not gone. Not yet." Darkness claimed me in fragments. Voices blurred into noise. The river's roar faded. My body was a stranger shell, cold, heavy, useless. Somewhere inside, a single thought flickered like a candle guttering in wind, "Aaron. Come back to me." Hands pressed my chest. Breath forced into my lungs. Jin's voice sharp, commanding, "Stay with us, Doc. Breathe." I floated in and out. The jungle's canopy spun above me, stars smeared like tears. My leg pulsed with fire, but the rest of me was ice. The venom was winning. We moved again, carried, dragged, lifted. Reyes on one side, Ellis shouting coordinates into a battered radio, Ortega's grip never letting go. Every stumble was a hammer on my skull. Every breath was a war. Then, rotor wash. A thundering sky. Light speared down through trees. The extraction bird, late but here. Shadows of salvation. They loaded Reyes first, then Hunt. Ellis scrambled up, wide-eyed, pale. Ortega carried me last. My body sagged limp in his arms, head lolling. He set me down on cold metal. Jean climbed in after, slapping the side. Go, go, go! The helicopter lifted, jungle shrinking below, tracers streaking past like angry comets. The door gun opened up, thunder drowning out shouts. We were airborne. Alive. But me? Not certain. My chest seized. My vision tunneled to a pinprick of light. Hands shook me, voices shouted my name, but all I heard was Aaron's voice in memory. Come back to me. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. My hand twitched, fingers brushing Ortega's wrist. Jean leaned close, eyes fierce, refusing to let me drift. You saved them. Now save yourself. The candle in my chest flickered. For a heartbeat, I thought it would die. And then, air. Sweet, burning, filling. My lungs dragged it in. My heart kicked once, twice, stronger. The world flared back into focus. I was alive. Barely. The medics swarmed me the second we landed, masks over my face, IVs stabbing veins, voices barking orders. My body convulsed, then steadied under their grip. As the stretcher rolled, I caught one glimpse of Reyes clutching Ellis's arm, Hunt giving me a weak thumbs up. Ortega's jaw tight, eyes glistening. Jin's nod, respect, pride, sorrow all at once. And through the blur, Aaron. He was there, shoving through the crowd, eyes wild until they found me. He grabbed my hand, held it like a lifeline. His lips against my knuckles. You came back. I tried to smile. It felt broken, but it was there. The price of my choice weighed heavy, the vial gone, the poison still eating. But Reyes and Hunt lived. The team lived. And for now, so did I. Not all stories end clean. Some end in scars, in pain, in memories that ache. But this one ended in life. And that was enough.